morning, City of Pittsburgh. My name is Lori Beth Jones. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the co-chair of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission. Welcome to the standing committee meeting for the Clean Pittsburgh Commission for October 13th, 2022. We will begin with our introductions, and always first on the introduction list will be my co-chair, Christopher Mitchell.
I am Christopher Mitchell, anti-litter specialist for the City of Pittsburgh, Department of Public Works, and I'll turn it over to Amaye.
Hi, my name is Amaye Rayleigh, representing City of Pittsburgh. I'm a recycling specialist. Kelsey?
Morning, everyone. Kelsey Ripper, Executive Director at Friends of the Riverfront. Go over to Josiah.
Morning, everybody. Josiah Gilliam, Special Initiatives Coordinator in the Mayor's Office. Happy to be a guest on today's meeting.
Thank you, Josiah. Myrna, I don't know if you're able to. There you are. You're muted.
All right. Sorry, I've got very bad lighting, but I am here. Good morning. I'm Myrna Newman. I'm the Executive Director of Allegheny Cleanways. Pronouns are she, her, and I live in the Polish Hill neighborhood of Pittsburgh. Thanks.
Thank you, Myrna. Okay. We this morning so far have not reached a quorum for the purposes of any kind of a voting. So we will not be doing previous minutes review today. And our discussion will primarily focus on just some of the things that we learned in our annual mayor's meeting, and so on and so forth. I guess we can just, if everyone wants to take a quick look at the agenda, if you have the agenda and review. I'm so sorry. I don't want him up there. So.
Can someone share the agenda? I asked, I can never find it. I'm sorry.
I'll share it from my screen right now.
Sweet, thank you.
Okay.
So we're a little light on stuff today, and we're also a little light on members, so this will be a fast one. Erica was not able to provide us with our previous minutes, so we won't be doing that. We won't even take a vote on our current agenda because we don't have enough people here, and that's fine. We'll follow it anyway.
I do want to go ahead and read a section of our mission, as we generally do here at the beginning of the meetings. And maybe I'm a little bit out of order, not in the gavel kind of way, but just in the agenda kind of way. I'd like to read today from the values section of our bylaws, their equity and diversity statement. The Clean Pittsburgh Commission celebrates the 300,000 neighbors in 90 neighborhoods of Pittsburgh and affirms member representation must be geographically, socioeconomically, and racially diverse in order for the body to be effective, relevant, and creative. The Commission recognizes deficiencies and actively engages different perspectives through a platform of mutual respect. This engagement and respect will be a tenet of all regular meetings and all program functions of the Commission, as well as in all communications. When a distinct neighborhood is in focus, initiatives developed with that neighborhood will be shared as replicable project templates. Work within neighborhoods of focus will be informed by neighbor input. Obtaining input will be done thoughtfully by meeting people of different ages and levels of civic participation where they are. Thanks so much, everyone. Okay, so we don't have minutes. I think the agenda is fine, although obviously we won't be putting up for official vote. No one has expressed any issues with missing anything, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll jump right into our follow-up from the mayor's meeting.
So in lieu of a Clean Pittsburgh Commission meeting last month, we had our annual meeting with the mayor. we were very pleasantly, not necessarily surprised, but we were pleased with many of the things that were brought up. One, that our funding has been allocated for another year and that it has actually been planned out for the next 5 years so that we won't have to grovel for that every single year when we meet with the mayor. So we're happy that's going to go through. We got a couple of sneak peeks, or at least told a couple things about the budget that has since come out that we're very pleased with, that we're getting our gold inspectors according to the gold plan that the Clean Pittsburgh Commission helped create. What else did we hear from the mayor? We do have to still get his anti-litter campaign where he learns more about the gold plan in front of him soon. And that he has offered us to share something every Friday as a Clean Pittsburgh Friday from the Clean Pittsburgh Commission on his social media. So we started that following Friday with our first one. And this is, I'll share my screen again just to show kind of what we're going to be going for, and some help with the commission from the commission on this would be good. So we started something with our ballot boxes. Each month we have basically content and copy for him. Here's what our coming weeks have been already kind of created and put on a schedule. These sort of things have largely had to do with the stuff we're doing out of our office here at First, but we do want future posts to reflect, our newsletter, the plastic bag ban, the literati, a lot of different things. So what I'm going to be doing, as well as reaching out to all members with content solicitation for our newsletter, but also content solicitations for our Clean Pittsburgh Friday social media posts. So he said he would be very happy to use some of his social capital for us on this. So watch out. After each meeting, I'll be asking for 2 of those every single month instead of just the 1. Things that we did bring up during the mayor's meeting, we had basically 2 big asks of him. One, besides the funding, which was good, we gave him a slate of potential members that we'd like him to nominate to city council. He said he's going to vet them and then turn them over. The one he did immediately express approval for, but still needs to go through city council, is Josiah Gilliam, who's on the call with us today as a guest before he joins formally. So we're happy to have him as a representative of the mayor's office. And the other big ask we made of the mayor, which I don't know if anybody else's memory is better than mine, that we didn't get a whole lot of response back, a yes or no or anything, was him, DPW taking over our camera contract that we have piloted with city surveillance. So we'll have to do a lot more digging into that as our second big ask. What's that going to look like going forward? And then the third thing we brought to his attention, and I again don't think we got any kind of solid response back, was our neighborhood of focus for 2022-2023. We presented him, I'm going to share my screen again. We presented him with this map that shows the places that we have been in the green, with Esplin being this past years and the years before that. The green is where we have gone, and yellow is some of our ideas of where we could go next. But he didn't express a preference for that. So that's something we should still keep an eye on, see if we want to continue working with the mayor's office or push forward with other means to determine that. And that's everything I can think of off the top of my head that I wanted to discuss about the mayor's meeting. Does anybody have anything else, questions or other points of interest we should be talking about?
Didn't he, and sorry, I got a call during this, so you might have said something, but didn't he also talk about needing us to develop a 5-year plan?
Yeah, so he did express interest in, I think he was calling it even a 10-year plan going forward, what the city should be doing with litter. I think that lines up very nicely with our gold plan, which he still does not have the finer points on yet. So it has been presented to a couple people in the mayor's office. It is something that is known up and down in DPW and other departments in the city. I think if we can hopefully get this in front of him very soon and say, here's what a campaign can look like. Sorry. So we're kind of going to be using the campaign presentation as I keep saying it like a Trojan horse to bring gold and to bring several other long-term plans that can greatly change how the city operates. One of which I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it was in the presentation that we gave as what this campaign could look like. I think we gave a presentation a couple months ago about that to the Clean Pittsburgh Commission. And it included the idea of expanding our litter index pilot to a full citywide urban blight index, which would track not just litter, but illegal dumping, potholes, broken sidewalks, weeds and debris, blocked or inefficient street lights, things like that, so that we'd have that full citywide picture, and then use that sort of heat map those metrics that we were able to go out and see on our own and not respond directly to 311s as a reactive measure, but instead be proactive to where the actual need, regardless if anybody's telling us about it or not. So I think that fits very nicely in that 10-year plan. I think maybe there's some room for improvement in the presentation that we were going to give him, or I still are going to give him, that incorporates that language. This is your 10-year plan. And he also expressed interest in what we've done with the Pickup PGH program, and how to get more teenagers involved in that through maybe learn and earn programs or anything like that. So I think that's something that's really worth exploring going forward. Action priority, model of growth. I take the worst notes. I'm trying to look this stuff over, but yeah, I think another thing that we need to work towards is getting the garbage Olympics actually in the city budget, instead of asking. We've had very great luck the past few years in asking city council offices directly for each individual district to provide some funds. But I think all of them are very interested in moving that to an actual line item in the city budget. So that's something we want to see going forward too.
I mean, and he did agree that, we should add it somehow to the budget. So I feel like that's something we can, definitely remind him about every now and then. Hopefully we can actually make our way onto the budget. So.
Was there any other, was there anything else that was brought up that we need to focus on from the mayor's meeting? Because I think we got some marching orders. We did hear some good things, but I worry that my notes are terrible and I'm missing something, but I think that covers just about everything.
I think it was an accurate depiction of what was discussed, some of the heavy points that were made.
All right. Lori and Josiah, could I have you two work together to make sure the mayor's following through on nominating our slate, to shepherd everybody through that process and get everybody where they need to be. And then we will have, we still have to, I think maybe putting that pick up PGH targeting teenagers and learn and earn could be a good 2023 focus for us, especially if it lines up nicely with the neighborhood of focus. And then that's all I have on that. Sarah Shea did say that she might be able to join late today. So we'd like to have her on board for financial updates, our budget updates. So we'll push that back to last. If she's not here by the time we get to that, I'll bring that up and we can discuss it, because even though we can't vote, excuse me, on anything new today, I'd like to just confirm where we're at, where some of the money that we have allocated for things that's not going to happen this year can be reallocated, because we will be asking for, last minute projects that need funding, like we did before with Grounded's mobile toolbox kit and things like that. Those will have to be back to us pretty much by November, early November, right? That's when the cutoff is. I can't remember.
I agree. It was in the beginning of November, the crunch was trying to make sure we spent last year's money. So.
All right, yeah, so we will move on to, for right now, if there's nothing else from the mayor's office meeting, we'll move on to member updates for everybody, and then we can talk about budget last.
I'll start. The big thing for us and for the city is 50th anniversary of the Clean Water Act. Is this weekend. Right, the 18th, I think it is, so maybe not this weekend, but the festival celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Clean Water Act is this weekend in Millvale at the Riverfront Park. It's going to be huge, lots of vendors, lots of, not vendors, sorry, exhibitors, guest speakers and artists. Everything interactive. So we want a lot of people to come out. Should be a beautiful weekend for it. I think other than that, we have a couple of dump site cleanups, a big one in Brighton Heights that we could still use some volunteers for. So come on out for that.
Could you send me, I think that would make a really good Clean Pittsburgh Friday social media post for the mayor to share tomorrow. Could you send me information on that, maybe a graphic, and I'll give that to his person, Sam, and we'll get that up and try to boost participation for tomorrow.
Absolutely, thanks.
Yeah, so here at Environmental Services, we're still, picking up trash, taking recycling. We wanted to talk about, we have some neighborhood collections coming up. Our last one is going to be for e-waste, and it's going to be in Councilman Gross's district at the Goodwill off of, in Upper Lawrenceville. And they've got spaces open. So, we will be posting to social media next week to, get some hype targeted towards that event. It is the 22nd of October. And then we also are having our final HHW collection on the 29th of October here in the Strip District. It's going to be, a little discount's going to be added to it as from the CPC. So $10 per visitor. And I think there's still openings for that as well. So, CPC sponsored discounted HHW disposal. And also, I'm on the board of the Pittsburgh Center for Creative Reuse, and we have our Crafticle coming up. It's basically like Chopped. I don't know if you guys seen Chopped, but with random bits and bobs from the Center for Creative Reuse. And so people have to get crafty and make whatever. So yeah, that's October 27th. Wow, 27th from 7 p.m. And it's going to be on Zoom. It's going to be virtual. And we're also looking for sponsors. So let me know if you, if your organization is interested in sponsoring a tier of, you know, some of the prizes that will be given at that event. So, but yeah, that's it. That's about it. Thank you.
Kelsey, do you have anything from Friends of the Riverfront?
No, just a ditto on Myrna's plug for the Clean Water Act. We're also leading a bike parade afterwards, that it's a fish parade, and people are going to make fish prints and attach them to their bikes, and then we're going to ride from the festival down to the point as a fish parade, which I think is going to be really fun. So, and also encouraging lots of people to come, but to come via bike, scooter, walk, bus, but not driving individual cars, because there's very limited parking in Millvale Riverfront Park. And if you take alternative transportation, you're eligible for a raffle. There's a couple of prizes that we're going to give out to help encourage people to take other modes of transportation. And then we have a cleanup on the 18th for the anniversary, along with Three Rivers Waterkeeper and Allegheny Cleanways. I don't remember where that is going to be, but it is on Tuesday morning. Myrna, is that the one that you were talking about? And I'm just repeating you?
No. I was talking about one in Brighton Heights that we have. Millvale, I think is that one in Millvale? Millvale?
Yes, it is. It's in Millvale. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's all the updates from us right now.
Ami, can you share some about the Garbage Olympics? I was not able to attend this year, so I feel like I missed some of that. I'm trying to pull up the stats now.
Yeah, I'll do my best. It was like a blur. But yeah, we had our Garbage Olympics. First time I saw Kelsey in person. Happy to see you. And it was a good time. Allentown was our winner. Like blew everyone out of the water. I don't have data to support that, but we some of the we found our dirtiest person. I think he was from Marshall Shadeland. He spilled tire juice on him. That's a classic. And there was a stuffed, I don't know, some sort of parrot thing found in Morningside as our weirdest item. And I think the most volunteers went to Oakland, of course, all those lovely students down there. So yeah, and then we had, you know, Jake Pollock came and, you know, did the announcements. We had some raffle, had some pizza, a little bit of cider, a little bit of libations. It was a good time, good celebrating and bringing people together. And I think the biggest thing about that event is just making sure that we are bringing communities together, common causes to, care for the environment that they live in. So that was just a win in itself, that we could bring community members together. So is that the update you were looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. And our stats of this year were that 48 neighborhoods signed up and participated. We did always seem to have less people report back to us, less teams report back to us than the full 48. So I think we got 41 or 42 who did get back to us and say, here's our stats. So we know next year that's going to be a bigger focus on making sure we get all that information back. But out of those 48 neighborhoods, we saw over 569 volunteers, over 1,086 bags of garbage collected, 195 tires, 112 TVs, and 129 bulk items, which the bulk items were huge this year. Last year, we only had around 23 bulk items. So those couches, the furniture made up a huge portion of this year. So great job to everybody who participated. We want to thank all the volunteers, all the team captains, especially so much for coming out for your neighborhood. We will be celebrating the Allentown's win by having them attend a meeting with the mayor. So if you're from that Allentown team, look out for an email inviting you to meet with the mayor very soon. And thank you very much on all of that. And thank you to everybody who picked up some of my slack that I was not able to make it because of an unexpected illness. So everyone did great. And I think that's it. I was going to prepare something for the ballot bins. Most of those have been placed. As just a quick update, I think we only have about 8 or 9 left, maybe. this Friday, we're going to be installing about 5 to 6 more downtown and in the Highland Park area. And that might be about the last of it. So the next time we meet, we'll have a full update on how the ballot bin distribution has been going and where we're going to go from there. So that's my member organization update on that. And the last thing, we'll go over the budgets. We'll go over the budgets real quick, and then we'll wrap. Lori, did you want to talk about the thing you just sent me an email about? Oh, no.
Chris,
okay. Yes.
Sorry, Chris, I don't know if it's worth mentioning also that you will be on a panel at the Litter Summit coming up next month. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that or not, but.
I do. Thank you for reminding me. I have terrible memory. This November 1st and 2nd, Tuesday and Thursday, or I'm sorry, is that Monday and Tuesday? No, Tuesday and Wednesday, November 1st and 2nd, we'll have the 2022 Pennsylvania Litter Summit. The many members of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission attended back in 2019. We will be attending again this year, and I'll be presenting about our gold plan and our ideas for structural change and how the city operates and dealing with these issues. So we're very excited about that. We invite all members to come with us those 2 days, and we'll report back after that November. We'll report at our November meeting what we've learned, what we presented, all kinds of great stuff from the Litter Summit. So look forward to that. Thank you, Myrna.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to share my screen one more time so we can look over what we have approved in our budget and how much. Obviously, we're not going to do any voting on this, but there's one thing I'd like to add. Let me see if I can zoom in here, because this is kind of zoom 125. That's a little bit better. So I think we get our bill for literati in November. Generally, so most everything has been approved. Some of it just still needs to be paid out. This looks a little old now that I'm looking at it because it has. Oh no, it's got both. We voted for additional funding, so we did have the 4,000 in funding for the Garbage Olympics. The HHW is coming up, and that has already been approved. So we're going to be doing that $10 off per attendee. One thing I'd like to add on the ballot bins again is that, and I'll have to send out an email for a vote from all of our members for this, but the magnetic sheets that go on let me see if I still have this up. I don't, never mind. So the magnetic sheets, where's my bill? The magnetic sheets that we're printing the questions onto for the ballot bin cigarette receptacles we have run out of that material to provide everybody as much as we need. So I'm going to be asking for a roughly $250 max on ordering more of that material so that we can give everybody some and have some left over for our next round, because we will be watching for more opportunities for grants. So I think with 2 rolls of the magnetic sheet material, won't go over 250, but I will be asking that in the email going forward. And if you have any, that still leaves us at least $10,000 that we have to spend before the end of the year. So we will be aggressively asking for projects that you would want funded in your organization. I think last time we did this, it was probably around 1,500 that we expected that each organization could probably come with a project like I think previously we funded the grounded mobile toolbox is always what comes to mind, but we've done things for, I think, Allegheny Cleanways, Great Keepers and things like that before. So please, that's another request that's going to go out via email. We'll want to have lined up before our November meeting. Do we have any questions about the budget?
Chris, just a question on that last part. Is it I know we got funding from that last year, and I think it went all towards supplies. Is that the same as this year? Mainly just supplies?
It seems to be a very easy lift if you have a supplies need, because it's just easy for everybody to understand how to spend that money on that. If there's some other if there's something other than supplies that you would like funded in a certain way, we can definitely talk about it and see what the best path forward is. But it just seemed it was the easiest to do supplies, but we may need to graduate and do a little bit better and get better at spending that money.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Whoops, Chris, how many cigarette butt containers are out?
Right now, I think we have somewhere around 25 to 30 that are out distributed. Now, some of those we left with the business or organization to put up on their own, and many of them, so some of them aren't out yet, but they are at least distributed to the people who will be maintaining them. For the ones that are actually installed, it's probably somewhere like 15 of them. I'd say 15 to 20 are likely installed, and there's probably another 5 to 10 that still need be put up by the organizations. We know that the terminal and the strip district, they got about 4 of them to really spread out along that area. Those have been delivered but not installed yet. We also delivered some to a park area that's for baseball games and things like that. In Mount Washington, we had Threadbare Cider that we gave one to, and they were going to install on site themselves, and the same with Trace Brewing was going to install it themselves, but just about everybody else we've installed ourselves. So we have 3 in the main corridors, walking corridors of Oakland along Forbes Avenue there. We're going to probably do about 5 spread out all through downtown, install them likely all tomorrow. And there's more that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. But when we do our full ballot bin update next month, we'll have a full map of where everything's been put. I'm hoping to have 0 left by then.
And are there still requests, or are you still getting requests? I'm just wondering if we should put any money toward getting more of them.
That's a very interesting thought, because you know, we did get a $15,000 grant for these from Keep America Beautiful before, and the Clean Pittsburgh Commission has obviously been supporting it by buying additional keys and materials for it, and then even just a little bit for the bins themselves when we went over budget. What I'd like to do going forward is continue using grant money if there's opportunities for that. But if we're looking at November and we still aren't meeting the needs we have, I wouldn't be against using the Clean Pittsburgh Commission to buy the bins outright. So that is a good idea. I do want to continue distributing these, especially to the areas that have green teams, like the south side. There we put several on Carson Street. I forgot about that as well. So areas like downtown, south side, that have dedicated crews that go around and clean up, those are the places we really like to targeting. And yeah, that's a good idea, Myrna. We'll look at that, what that could mean. There's a few on the north side. We've got one along Records, Government Building Records. We had one in Observatory Hill by the Observatory Hill Deli. We have one in the Mexican War Streets on the north side. And then I want to say there's one more, but I can't quite remember. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for this. Yep.
Yeah, it seems to be a popular thing, definitely needed. You know, cigarette butts are everywhere, and yeah, it's fun. So it's a good project.
Absolutely. All right, do we have any other member updates?
I just had a question thinking about the budget too. Has the Clean Pittsburgh Commission looked at needle collection at all as part of the work of the commission? And I guess my second question to that is the city doing any needle collection at this point? Because that could be something that we could potentially use more of, and could be potentially use some CPC money.
I think that's a great idea. I do know that anytime the topic has been very lightly broached a few times. I don't know if the commission itself has done much work in that. I feel like most of the time when people ask me about needle collection materials, I know that we don't have any out of environmental services that we have traditionally given out. And I've often lightly referred them to our Office of Health and Safety with Laura Dragowski, and said if anybody in the city has that materials, it's most likely her. But I don't know how far that's ever gotten. So that would be a great direction to go.
All right, I will think about that some more. Thanks.
And if the Clean Pittsburgh Commission wants to, here at Environmental Services, when people sign up with the city to volunteer, we give them the services of the trucks going out and picking everything up by the next business day. We also always offer supplies, basically just disposable gloves and the bags. We have a table here at Environmental Services that they can take those materials a la carte, whatever they need. If we want to spend money, the Clean Pittsburgh Commission money, on needle collection materials, we could give those out as part of our standard kit, or have them available for people out of here, or part of the kits the street stewards are getting from Friends of the Riverfront and Allegheny Cleanways. So there's a lot of opportunity of how to get that to people who need it. But that is a great idea.
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure if we'd want, we personally don't, or Friends does not allow volunteers to pick up needles. We just have staff doing it. So I don't know if we would necessarily want to put it in kits, but having stationary boxes in places where we find a lot of needles and that they get regularly picked up could be very helpful. So yeah.
That's a great idea, Kelsey. Something like that in a few spots like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know what those would look like though. Do those exist?
I'm thinking about the ones that are just in bathrooms, like they're just medical waste, like the red boxes that you can put in and can't take out. Yeah, just putting those out in places. But then someone's got to go and pick them up too. So there's a couple of logistic things to work out. But I think that, there's a lot of options for who could be picking those things up.
I do think it'd be worth talking with Laura and the Office of Health and Community Safety, because I know this summer the city rolled out a needle exchange program. So maybe some of the logistics are already in place that could be plugged in there.
That's great. I'll shoot an email to Laura.
I think that just brings to mind something else that I think came up at our meeting with the mayor about the unhoused population and trash collection, providing sanitary, providing toilets, providing trash collection, all of the issues around camps and so forth. I don't remember exactly what came of that discussion, or if anything came of the discussion, but that is something that I think I know it's happening in several different ways. I think the Clean Pittsburgh Commission should be part of that discussion. That's going forward. Absolutely.
And I think, we had Laura visit us one time and basically lay out the reasons why volunteers shouldn't be traipsing through camps and bothering them, even as well-intentioned as they may be. But I think we've also, I can't remember if this was part of a Clean Pittsburgh Commission talk before, There were a few legal reasons why all the ways that we'd want to service our unhoused population, that we couldn't do it as easily as we wanted. Something along the lines of, if we provide regular trash pickup the same way we would do everything else, then we are kind of legally acknowledging that property that they're on is theirs. And so that's kind of kept the city's hands tied on a lot of the things we'd like to do. But I think there's a larger conversation of how to circumvent that, especially
Right.
now. And that was, I believe, that sort of that sort of policy predated the creation of the Office of Health and Safety. So there's probably a lot more leverage to do something better now.
And that's something that we have, again, this has been years that we're a part of these conversations, that we have offered that we could do, especially along the riverfronts. You know, our boat can go, at least in the warmer months, which is mostly when people are living on the riverfronts. But, you know, we can take the boat once a week or whatever and collect trash. We can take our trucks and collect trash from the camps, you know, on land as well. So that is something that we've offered, still on the table. And if that is a way to circumvent that issue, we're happy to do that.
Why don't we ask Laura and the Office of Health and Safety to join us in an upcoming meeting? Because last time we talked, it was all the reasons that we don't want to go traipsing through there. And I was warning to all the great volunteers we have who care about this issue, basically why don't leave them as alone as possible. I think next meeting we have with her, we can talk about proactive steps that we should be doing or we should be moving towards, instead of what we can't do. Excellent. Yeah, that's even a great focus for next year as well. Since this one, I don't know if we'd have a solution on the table to include into this year's budget, but I think that'd be a great focus for next year.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is we get requests often, and we do pick up some trash from a couple of sites, including, I don't think this is a city thing. It's the 31st Street Bridge. I think that's more PennDOT. I don't know, but there are guys that stand out there. They end up collecting a lot of trash. They clean it up. And so we swing by and pick up the trash bags periodically. So it's not an issue for us at all to do that. And especially if there are requests, we're happy to do it. Unless we're breaking some rule, which I don't think we are, but you know, I don't know.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll definitely broach those topics, and we'll get Laura to visit us again because we love her so much. All right, I think that might wrap everything up very nicely.
Yay, we did it.
Yay. Good work, everyone. I guess we can still move to adjourn, or we can just like peace out, like secret style. I don't know.
What do you do without a quorum?
I think we still do Robert's rules without it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Move to adjourn.
I second. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. It was a pleasure seeing you all. Have a great day, and we'll be back next month. Watch.
Bye.